Superman 2025. Some of y'all love this movie. Some of y'all hated it. I have an opinion that some of y'all may or may not see coming. Let's talk about it. Welcome back or welcome to Uncle ABL. And in today's video, we got to review Superman, the 2025 iteration directed by James Gunn, starring David Corenswet as Superman. Now, this was a really good movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Some of y'all did not like it. I'm going to jump straight into the negative first, then I'm going to get to the positive and explain to you why I love this movie. Now, the negative, what did some of y'all say? Oh, he got beat up the whole movie. I hated the dog. It's too political. It's Israel, Palestine. I understand that point of view. I understand how you would think that, but I did not really see those things as any kind of way annoyances or overpowering in the movie. The issue about him being an alien, I guess as a nod to xenophobia or whatever, that was such a minute part. I totally missed it. When they were talking about that, I wasn't even really paying that much attention to that particular thing because there was a bigger issue going on. So I didn't really see that as an issue. And as far as Israel, Palestine, that whole situation, there was a generic conflict in the movie that was kind of key to the plot, but the conflict itself could have been anything if you want to relate it to something in real life. You got brown people in the sand fighting with sticks and stones against a very powerful military. We've seen that over and over and over and over and over again throughout time. You can assign that to whatever you want if you want to. I just saw it as a generic conflict that was not necessarily trying to poke to anything happening in real life. Also, yes, there were quite a few challenges. Yes, he did face quite a few enemies that got the best of him. But at the end of it all, after every conflict in the movie, he came out on top. Because why? Because he is Superman. He's a hero. He's going to come to the rescue. Even when it looks like he has been defeated, it looks like he can't go any further. He's going to continue to just push forward. And you know what? I could relate to that character 100%. 100%. First of all, I like the love interest in the movie, Lois Lane. And for Jimmy Olsen, you have Eve, who was Lex Luthor's girlfriend at first. I love the way they did this because it was very realistic. Superman and Lois Lane were like a married couple. If you've ever been married, long-term girlfriend, live with a woman, this kind of interaction was what people go through. Okay. And I liked her role. She was like a regular plain Jane type woman, not ugly. I'll explain. Just like plain Jane, she could be any woman. I think women can relate to her as well. I liked her role. They look good together, you know, and a lot of women would probably like to be with a guy that's like 6'4". A Superman could do whatever he wants, but the relationship made sense. She was smart. She was sharp. She kept him sharp. She challenged him and some of his beliefs. Talking about one thing that he did, I'll get to that in a minute. But that was a good pairing. Now, when you get to Jimmy Olsen, Lois Lane's co-worker, he wound up with Eve, Lex Luthor's girlfriend. I'm sorry, spoiler. There might be a little bit of spoiler here, so be careful. But the way he got her is because he treated her well. That's all that it was. He treated her well. Now, she was kind of silly, kind of goofy, taking pictures all the time. But what Lex Luthor would do was kind of like just trying to keep her in the closet, ignore her, always yelling at her, just being a bad person. And by the way, Lex Luthor's character, I hated. When I first saw Lex Luthor, I'm like, this pipsqueak, that's going to be Lex Luthor. But then when he started speaking, I'm like, okay, I get it. I totally get it. I hate him. He was just a bad person, maybe like a bad boss. If you ever had a bad boss, maybe just a bad person that you went to high school with, maybe somebody you meet just out in the streets. Just a really bad guy. I hated him. So that was really good casting. And again, really good for James Gunn on the directing. But to get back to his girlfriend, kind of ditzy, taking pictures. Lex Luthor treated her like garbage. But all she really wanted was for, I got to spend time with her. Now, Jimmy Olsen was kind of annoyed at all the selfie taking. But ultimately, just spend time with her. Just talk to her. Just communicate with her. And he was able to get her, and she was beautiful. She looked better than Lois, although intellectually, Lois had it over Eve, and it wasn't even close. So that piece of it I liked. Now, to get back to what Lois Lane challenged Superman on, This is part of the reason why the people in Metropolis were like, you're an alien, all this, that, and the third, because he interfered in the foreign country's conflict, okay, trying to stop a genocide from happening. In his mind, he's doing the right thing by humanity. He's just here to serve us. But what happened was a message from his parents came because Lex Luthor stole it. The very beginning is all Superman never heard, because at the end of the message, it was corrupted. So he never heard the full message from his parents before they died. You know the whole thing. The planet Krypton blows up. The baby comes to Earth, raised by the family on the farm. You know the story. He never heard the other part where they were talking about take as many wives as you want and lord over them. Basically be the ruler of humans and make them do whatever you want. I'm not quoting that exactly, but that's pretty much what the message said. So people were right to be afraid of him for being an alien because they did not want to be lorded over by him. And since he did that attack on that foreign country, that country did a terror attack on Metropolis. So they're like, yo, what are we doing? You're going to just rule over us and get us involved in your nonsense? You got to get out of here. So Superman voluntarily gets locked up. And this was one of the things he had to get through. He had to get out of the penitentiary. He met somebody in this penitentiary, I guess you could call it, who was, in theory, more powerful than Superman. And that's how he was able to kind of be down for a while. But ultimately, he was able to talk to the guy, work out a deal, and Superman saved the day. Not only saving himself, not only saving the man who was locked up right with him, but saving the man's little boy. And you saw that man who was in there with him with all these powers be so very vulnerable because of the child. And that just exposed the dichotomy. Yes, I'm all powerful, but I'm still somebody with vulnerabilities. I still have a sensitive spot in my heart. So I thought that was very good. The action in the movie was fantastic. There were some slow moments, but the slow moments I appreciate. That's the relationship building, and you get to know Superman as Clark Kent and as the hero. You get to know him in the world, but the action, fantastic. It was well done. It was a sight for sore eyes. I might want to go see it in 3D to get the full picture or on IMAX. The sound design was great. The CGI, special effects, the action sequences were great. Some of the still frames were great. The dog. Oh man, listen, some of y'all hated the dog. I'm like, really? Crypto the dog almost stole the show. I love that dog. That dog was great. At the end, where there's a still frame of Superman and the dog looking at the Earth from the moon, I guess. Oh, that was fantastic. The dog was great. Had elements and roles in the movie. Some said the dog saved Superman's butt. I mean, listen, there's a bunch of characters in the movie who all helped humanity go forward. They had the Justice Squad, the Justice Team, whatever they called themselves, Green Lantern. And I like Green Lantern's design in this movie. It wasn't, I think the way they did Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, and Mr. Terrific, they were done in the way to not overtake Superman as the lead character in the movie. They gave Green Lantern the old school bowl cut. It could have been a little bit more high and tight, but ultimately, I thought it was a good bowl cut. I thought he did a good job. Mr. Terrific was good. Hawkgirl, I can't really remember that much. She was involved, swinging their mace or whatever, and that's fine. But Mr. Terrific had a lot of one-liners. A Kenyan actor, great actor. Green Lantern, kind of like an everyman, car repair mechanic vibes, that whole thing. I really enjoyed it. It was a good movie. Superman, great casting. Corn Sweat is a logical choice rather than Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill was 40 years old. Corn Sweat's like, 32? Lois Lane, that was a good casting. Everyone was great. You got Wendell Pierce, who was the boss of the Daily Bugle. I like that quite a bit as well. Or Daily Planet, not Daily Bugle. He was the boss of Daily Planet. I thought that was a good pick. Overall, it was a great film. If you got kids especially, it'd be great to go watch it with them. If you're my age, like in your 40s, 30s, and you grew up with Superman animated series, you can appreciate this movie for having a lot of the same lore, a lot of the same continuity from the universe, from the DCU. you can appreciate it for that, and your kids who don't know anything about it can still appreciate this IP as if it is a brand new thing that has never been seen before. So overall, I like this movie. I like James Gunn. If you like Guardians of the Galaxy, those kind of movies, I think you'll like this. I think this one is a little bit more serious than the other ones, but it still has elements of humor. It still has some soft moments, but the action is action-packed. You're going to like it. It didn't overstay its welcome. It's about 2 hours or so, maybe hour and a half, hour and 45. It wasn't a very long movie. It was perfectly paced. The length was good. I enjoyed it. But that's pretty much all I got. Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.